Welcome geometry students to the homework help video, page 608, numbers 5 through 15 odd. Let's go ahead and get started right away. Here's number 15. So it looks like to me we're dealing with all of the triangles, numbers 5 through 15 odd. It looks like we're dealing with triangles, triangle ABC. So the first thing I've taught you to do is go ahead and label your triangle ABC. We don't really care if it's drawn to scale or not. Boy, I wish they didn't give you minutes and degrees like that. I don't know why they do that. I'm going to go ahead and real quick change C to a decimal. So let's see, 1 divided by 6.17. So angle C is 61.17. Side C is 30.3. And B, side B, little b, is 24.2. Now, as you please notice right off the bat, we have side, angle. So we know we're going to have no solution, or one solution, or two solutions, okay? So with that in mind, let's go ahead and solve, and let's see what happens, okay? We're looking for angle B, we're looking for angle A, and we're looking for side A. All right, so with that in mind, here we go. We do have a pair right here, C and C. So I'm going to go ahead and say 30.3 over the sine of 61.17 equals, now we're not going to use our A's, that would be two unknowns, but we can say side B as in boy, which is 24.2, over sine of B. Let's go ahead and cross multiply. 24.2 sine of 61.17 equals 30.3 sine of B. And now let's divide both sides by 30.3. So we end up with 24.2 sine 61.17 divided by 30.3. All of that equals sine B. Now I do have a calculator here, so I'm very quickly going to type in that left side, 24.2 sine 61.17. And I'm getting this decimal right here, 0.7020 equals sine of B. Notice we're looking for angle B, so I then hit second sine, inverse sine, and you're going to get 44.6 degrees. So there's angle B. If you type this in correctly, you'll get 44.6. So 44.6, 44.6. And now let's find this third angle very quickly here, 44.6 plus 61.17, and then subtract that from 180. And this angle right here has to be 74.23. 74.23, and now all three angles add up to 180, so 74.23. Now, the only thing I forgot to do, and I will admit that I forgot to do that, is this angle right here that we found right here, 44.6, this angle right here. Remember, we always subtract that from 180, okay? So let's go ahead and draw another triangle, because we might have two triangles, okay? So we take the first angle that we found, and we take 180 and we subtract 44.6 from that, and 180 minus 44.6 gives us 135.4. So this angle right here, 135.4, plus they gave us 61.7 down here, and look at that. If you add those two together, you're already up to 196. And of course, the three angles in the triangle have to add up to 180. So there's no way that another triangle exists. So thankfully, we only have one triangle that we have to find. So let's go ahead and find this last side here, side A. So I'm going to start off with 24.2 over sine of 44.6 equals, and let's see, we have side A over sine of A, which is 74.23. Now I'm going to skip a step here, guys. I'm really getting tired of writing all this down. If I cross multiply and then divide, I will end up with this right here, 24.2 sine 74.23 over sine of 44.6. 33.6, okay? And if you type that into your calculator correctly, for letter A, you will get 33.3, or just 33 if you choose. So there we go. We solved the triangle. Let's move on to number 7. Now the first thing you do is you kind of write out what you have here so we can see what scenario we have or what case we have. A, B, C. Okay, little c is 3, big B is 37.48, and big C is 32.16. Now thankfully, this is what we call angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side. And angle, angle, side is not one of the tricky problems. Angle, angle, side is one of the easy problems. We don't have to worry about no solution or two solutions. We just solve it. So let's see. First of all, we're missing angle A. We're also missing side A. And we're also missing side B. Now, angle A is really easy to find. If I take 37.48 plus 32.16 and then subtract that from 180, I will get 110.36. Now that's pretty easy to do. And now if I add up all three of these angles, they will add up to 180 degrees. That's pretty easy. Now let's go ahead and take our known pair, and here's our known pair right here, angle C and side C, and let's see what we can come up with. I have 3 over the sine of 32.16 equals, now it really doesn't matter if you find A or B first. I'm going to find A just because I chose to. So side A goes with the sine of angle A, sine of 110.36. Now again, I'm really getting tired of cross multiplying and then dividing and showing you all that work. You really should know by now. I multiply these, and then I would have A sine 32.16, so I would divide both sides by 32.16. So I'm going to save some time. I'm just going to write A equals 3 sine 110.36 degrees over the sine of 32.16. Now if you type all that into your calculator correctly, you will get approximately 5 for A. 5, okay? So put a 5 right here. And now, remember, we're going to go ahead and solve for side B now. Look, students, it's totally fine to keep using this original fraction right here, this first one, this first pair. I mean, it does make total sense to do that. And so I'm going to leave this right here. That's side C over the sine of C. And now I'm going to solve for B. So I have side B over, and then I'm going to take the sine of angle B, and that's 37.48. Now if I cross multiply and then divide, I will have B equals 3 sine 37.48 divided by the sine of 32.16. If you type all that into your calculator correctly, for B you will get approximately 3. Approximately 3. All right? I hope this is going well for you. Continue to work hard. Let's take a look at number 9. The first thing we do is we write our triangle, and we're going to label it A, B, C. And then let's see what we got. Little b is 56.78. Little c is 56.78. And angle C is 83.78 degrees. Well, unfortunately, I have angle, angle, side. Okay? Angle, angle, side. So I am going to have to check and see if I have two solutions or one. But first of all, let's go ahead and list out what I'm looking for. It looks like I'm trying to find angle A, angle B, and then side A. Here's my pair. I have my two sides, my two C's right here. So I'm going to say 56.78 over the sine of 83.78 equals, now I'm not going to solve for A's, that's two unknowns. I'm going to use my B's. So 56, side 56.78 goes with the sine of angle B. Now, if we cross multiplied and then divided, we would have this right here. We would have the sine of b equals 56.78 sine of 83.78. All of that over 56. Now, this cannot be right, and I apologize if I made a mistake here. Do we have two of these? Oh my goodness, we do. Look at this. Ah, this is so funny. Okay, well, notice these two sides are identical, 56.78 and 56.78. Do you see that? We do know from geometry class that whenever two sides are congruent, their opposite angles are congruent. Do you see that okay? So anyways, we'll get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and continue here over 56.78. Now, if you type all of this into your calculator, you should get this right here. Hold on 1 second while I do it. 56.78 sine of 83.78 divided by 56.78. And that's going to give you 0.994113245. And then, of course, the angle for that would be 83.78 for angle B. So, and we already knew that anyway, so angle B is 83.78. And we kind of wasted our time there because whenever two sides are congruent, their opposite angles are congruent, but that's okay. So angle B is 83.78. Now, please students, please watch this. You've got to get into a habit of doing this. Remember, the original problem here was a side-side angle. And if it's a side-side angle problem, then we always have to stop, draw another triangle, and write our given angle right here, which is 83.78. And then the angle we just found, which is this one right here, we just found that one. Remember, we always take that angle and we subtract it from 180, and we see if another triangle exists, okay? And what you get is 96 degrees. All right? 96 degrees. Now, if you add those two together, this is really, really, really close. You're getting 179, and this is really close. Let's see here. This is pretty close, too close to call here, because these two angles here do have to be the same because these two sides are the same. I mean, if you add these two together, you're getting 179.78, which means this degree over here would be 0.22. And I'm not going to give you one that close. I don't think this triangle exists over here. I think we're getting one that exists because of how the decimal's rounded in certain places. And so we're definitely just going to go with one solution here for this one. And so this triangle here does not exist. But we did check. At least we checked. So now we know angle B is 83.78. And now all that we have to do is find angle A. And by the way, we can do it very quickly. If we add these two together, 83.78, and subtract from 180, we get 12.44 degrees. So there's angle A, 12.44 degrees. And now we can find side A pretty quickly. So we're going to say 56.78 over the sine of 83.78 equals, we're looking for side A, and that's all over the sine of angle A, which is sine of 12.44. Now, if I cross multiplied and then divided, I would get this. A equals 56.78 sine of 12.44 divided by the sine of 83.78. Now, if you type that into your calculator correctly, you will get 12.3, approximately 12.3 for A, 12.3. All right, let's take a look at number 11. Number 11, I know it's a little dark there, but you can look in your book if you need to. So we have triangle A, BC. Side A is 20.01. Side B is 10.07. And angle A is 30.3. Unfortunately, we have side angle, so we might have no solution or two solutions or one. So the first thing we do is we list out what we're looking for. We're missing angle B, we're missing angle C, and we're missing side C. All right, let's go ahead and take our pair, which is right here. There's our pair. So we know we have 20.01 over the sine of the opposite angle, which is 30.3, equals, and now let's go ahead and put side B as in boy, 10.07 over the sine of angle B. Now listen, if you cross multiplied and then divided, you would be left with the sine of B equals 10.07 sine of 30.3 divided by 20.01. And if you typed that into your calculator correctly, you would get this right here. I'm going to round it. My calculator says 0.2539027072. And if you take inverse sine to find the angle for angle B for number 11, I'm getting 14.7 degrees. So 14.7. And now that's where you stop. You come over here, you write it in right there, and then you stop. Remember, we have a side angle situation, so there could be another triangle. So we've got to check and see. And if there is, then we'll work on solving that. So we have A, B, C, and the other angle they gave us was 30.3. Okay? Now here's what we do. Remember, we take the angle we just found and we subtract it from 180. So 180 minus 14.7 would be 165.3. So that's what goes right here, 165.3. Now, if you add those two angles together, you're already at 195 degrees. So there's no way this angle exists with this angle in such a way that we have a triangle. It does not exist. So we do not have, thankfully, another triangle to solve for. So we'll just stick with this one right here. All right. So with that in mind, let's see. We can find angle C quickly. I'm going to take 30.3 with the calculator plus 14.7. So I'm adding these two angles together, and then I'll subtract them from 180, and I'm going to get 135 degrees. So angle C is 135 degrees. All right. Now let me very quickly take a look at number 11 here. Okay. And now let's continue on. Let's find side C. So this is 135 degrees. And so here we go. I'm going to say 20.01 over the sine of 30.3 equals, and now we're looking for side C. So C over the sine of 135. Now if we cross multiply and then divide, we're going to see that C equals 20.01 sine of 135 divided by the sine of 30.3. Now if you typed all that into your calculator correctly, you would see for side C, you will get 28.04. So 28.04. Okay? So there we go. If you type this in right here, you will get 28.04. All right? Two more problems to go, and we are finished. Number 13. Let's go ahead and see what type of triangle we have. Angle side or side angle. Here's A, B, C. A is 89 degrees. A is 15.6. and B is 18.4. So once again, we might have no solution, we might have two solutions, and we might have one solution, okay? So let's see what happens here very quickly. Here we go. First of all, I'm going to list out what I'm looking for. I need angle B, angle C, and side C. There we go. Now we start with a pair that I know, so 15.6 over the sine of 89 degrees equals, well, I know the length of side B is 18.4, so that would go over the sine of B. Now if we cross multiplied and then divided, we would be left with the sine of B equals 18.4 sine of 89 all over 15.6. And if you type this into your calculator, and I'll do that for you very quickly here to make sure you're doing it right, 18.4 and then sine of 89, enter, divided by 15.6, enter, I'm getting this right here. I'm not going to write the whole thing down. I'm getting 1.179307538. Then if I hit second sign of that number, I'm getting no solution. Okay, so this is one of the triangles in which there is no solution or no triangle exists. So you cannot solve this triangle because it's impossible to have a triangle with these given measurements. Okay, and last but not least, number 15. We have triangle A, B, C. Side A is 200. Angle A is 32.76. Angle C is 21.97. And right away we see we have angle, angle, side, which is the easy type, so we don't have to worry about checking for no solution or two solutions. So first of all, I realize I'm looking for angle B, side B, and side C. Well, I'm going to find the angle first. I'm going to take 32 with my calculator here, 32.76 plus 21.97, add them together and subtract from 180. Well, that would leave me an angle here of 125.27. Now, I know it doesn't look like an angle of 125 degrees, but I'm really not concerned if my triangle is drawn to scale. That's not a big deal to me. I just want to get a picture of what's going on. Now let's go ahead and take our known pair that was given to us right here, and here's the pair that was given to us in the beginning. So I have 200 over the sine of 32.76 equals, and I guess we'll go ahead and find side B first. So side B over the sine of 125.27. Now if I cross multiplied and then divided, I would have B equals 200 sine 125.27 over the sine of 32.76. And if you type that into your calculator correctly, you will get, for the length of B, 302. 302. So there's the length of B, 302, and we'll come over here and we'll put 302. Now, all that we have to do is find the length of C. Now notice I'm going to keep my original fraction to the left right there. No need to erase that. And now I'm going to look for side C. So side C would go over the sine of angle C, which is 21.97. Now if we cross multiplied and then divided, we would get C equals 200 sine of 21.97 over the sine of 32.76. If we type that into our calculator, you would get, for the length of C, 138. Now if you're not getting those, you need to ask questions on how to type it in, or call me, email me, ask questions, or figure it out on your own. But you should get, excuse me for yawning, you should get 138. Okay? I hope this homework help video has been a help to you. If you have any questions, call me or email me, and please continue to work hard.